Everyone's always like, well, you just a small truck. And I'm like,
Don't
I'm going to
talk
start
to
with
me.
the jokes.
Yeah.
First of all, it's just better in every possible way, especially for a city. I get 35 miles a gallon with the Mav.
Yeah.
It's yellow, first of all,
Orange.
and last of all.
Yeah.
I love the Maverick.
Well, orange, but
It's yellow. We all know it. We'll put one up on the screen. We'll just start the podcast there.
oh, you're recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright.
the other thing is, well, I guess what is this we're doing? We're doing
Well, but before we move on from this argument that we have every time we hang out,
yeah.
we should put up what Ford calls it.
Yeah. What is it? I don't remember.
It's called Cyber Orange.
I don't feel like that's that right.
All right. Well,
We'll see. We'll put a maybe we'll just actually what we'll do is we'll put a poll in the community tab. People are like, what's the boots have to do with this truck? And be like, watch the
No,
video. Watch the
listen.
first 3 minutes of the video of me and Jay arguing.
Yeah.
My official stance on the 2023 Ford Maverick hybrid
In
is
Ford
in
Cyber Orange.
Ford Cyber Orange. I believe it's yellow.
And most of the people we ask on the street
Say it's
agree.
yellow.
I 100% disagree, and it is orange.
Okay, we'll see. We'll put a poll up. The thing
It
is, they're going to side with
orange.
you.
It is a yellowy orange,
Yeah, yellow first, orange secondary.
because yellow is the primary color.
Yeah, exactly. And people are going to side with you anyway, because they're going to be like, yeah, I like that Jay guy. He makes inappropriate jokes on camera.
Well,
So,
trying to
okay.
get canceled.
Well, even before people know, because it's in the title and thumbnail, but we also need to figure out what we're going to call this. Because what it really is like you actually work in boots and like abuse them and use them so we can actually see how they perform. Whereas like I put around in the shop all day.
Yeah.
You know, I used to work plenty of blue collar jobs. Like I have the experience in it, but I don't have the real time testing boots for anything longer than a few days.
True.
And especially not on anything other than like hikes or going down to the farm or like the occasional work.
Right.
Where you like do real work and you're starting your chop shop.
Yes.
Quick plug of the chop shop.
Chop shop.
But yeah, so Jay's a buddy of mine because some people probably haven't seen the first one. So me
Right.
and Jay have been buds for like 10 years. And we both are from very rural parts of Utah, and we love each other deeply.
Yes, deeply and in multiple ways.
And we've lived together. He was my landlord. And that's it.
Yeah.
We love the same shit.
And we're, yes, very similar, likes and dislikes.
Similar builds. We both have huge tattooed muscular legs.
Yes, both of us have nice calves.
Yep.
All two of us.
Huge.
Yeah.
Apples.
And I wear boots.
Maybe that's
I'm a boot boy.
that's the
Maybe it's just boot boys.
boot boy. Actually, that's not bad. I don't think anyone's claimed that in like the booter shoe community.
And I'm okay with being a boot boy.
Yeah, same. I also I have like there's like 3 things I've been wanting to do. The Great British Boot Off, which is like a fun pun. The State of the Shunion, which is just like I'm gonna want to do like a monthly update,
yeah.
updating everyone on what's going on, and like collaboration releases, projects coming up,
I really like State of
Stuff
the
like that.
Union, by the way.
and then Boot Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boot boys.
Boot Boys. Yeah,
Or
that's
Boot
bad.
Bros.
No, Boot Boys is better.
I like boot boys.
Yeah.
Put a pull up.
Yeah, another poll. Like, what's the poll? Doesn't make no freaking sense.
Ask the people what they want.
So we just released a bunch of our products in our specialty leathers, like the Shrunken Bison, some of that Red Wing like leather, our Blood Core, and people right off the bat, we were like, "Hey, I want that in a bracelet. Hey, I want a wallet in that. I want this." And so we just kind of been adding a bunch of stuff to our offering in those leathers, like our knot bracelet. This is one of the very first products we ever designed. It's and it's not even designed in quotations because all it really is a little strip of leather with a little slit in the end. Put it through the slit, tie a little knot in it, and you got a knot bracelet. Now we also are releasing all these little rings, and these rings, the funniest way to ever come up with a product, because these might look familiar to you. It's this exact same piece. This little part that we add on our slim neck strap and our slim wrist strap is this little piece. And so we just started cutting them out of all the specialty leathers so you can make little rings out of it. You know, it was not even planned. It just happened to work out perfectly. Someone in the shop was like, "You can make that into a ring." And I was like, "I think you could actually." So if you want to try out some of these leathers and you don't want to buy a $600 or $700 boot to try out some Blood Core or some of the Shrunken Bison or Chrome XL, Because that's the fun of it, is you get to sample some of these leathers that you've always wanted to get, but in a product that's a fraction of the cost, where you still get to see it age, you see how it reacts to how you live and the sweat and oil and dirt that you have in your daily life. So check out the knot bracelets below and the rings below in all of our specialty leathers and our stock leathers. So check them out below. Okay, so what are we actually doing today? We've already been chatting for 5 minutes straight.
Yeah, just talking about the freaking. We just have banter.
Banta?
Talking about the Perrys.
You
the
moping
Perry
me off?
Selects. And petting Toasty.
That's right.
I don't want to disturb him. Should I take this off?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have some miles in these.
Yeah, you got a lot of miles in them, and people will be seeing them in the B-roll and everything too.
Yeah.
So maybe what we do first is just talk about sizing, because people always want to know sizing, and both you and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum of sizing.
Yeah.
I go towards bigger and wider and more like plenty of wiggle room.
So does that
like
mean
your
your
shoes
feet
tight.
are actually smaller than me? Like on the
Probably.
on the what's that thing?
Brannock?
The Brannock.
Probably. We could see. Let me go grab it.
We should put our what we are on the
Yeah.
screen or whatever.
Because I'm like dead on a 10 on the Brannock.
That doesn't matter.
Stand up and put your weight equally on both feet. And then look down on top of your toe. Is it more of like...
It's like 10 and a half.
Yeah, so you're 10 and a half on the Brannock. I'm a 10. But you like...
Yeah, so I'm a
smaller.
little bit bigger than you. So that's why we wear the same size.
Right.
Because I like them tight, you like them a little loose.
Yes. And that's why like sizing is such a nightmare, because everyone's like, I'll recommend sizing, and people send a DM like, you screwed me up. You recommended this and this. I'm like, I put a caveat in there. Go like choose your own discretion. Use the brand's sizing advice. Just use mine as what it is. And so like sizing is tough for that reason, because everyone's feet are so different. Everyone likes their shoes different. And like for you, like this to me looks like it's about half a size bigger. And so you probably got a size 10.
I think I did. And again, we talked about this in the
African
Trooper
vid.
video. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
That's the other thing. We're doing this again because people liked it. And like this is the easiest content of all time to make. Me and you just sitting down and BSing about boots.
Which we do anyway.
Right, for real.
Okay, so I said it in that video. I got my Easy Feeds. We're not sponsored by them. I would be though.
I think they actually did send us some.
Well,
So that's a good plug. You might as well plug it, because I think they sent
anyone
us
from
some.
Easy Feet is watching this, I love this. You should pay me.
Because it has the arch support that you need, right?
My shoes are just full of rocks, dude.
Rocks and dog hair.
Yeah. So when I first put it on, it just had like, I think it just had like a little piece of leather as the insole. What does it come with?
It comes with one of these insole. Yeah, it came with that, the Ortholite. Because whites, they send them with those little Ortholites. So you probably just swapped it out.
So actually, yes. So I came in one day for something else. Here it is, cross section. It came with this little Ortholite. I came in one day and Sam was just like, hey, do you want to wear these for a while? And I was like, sure. And so I put them on, and immediately, I actually took a video of me, because as you know, and how people will learn, I'm not nice to boots.
It's true.
Brand new, beautiful boots. They were like a burgundy.
Yeah. I
color.
think these are probably the same color. They started off with the same color.
Yeah. So they were that color, and just untouched, perfect boots. They were super comfy right when I put them on. But they didn't have this in it.
You probably forgot to put it in or
I
something.
put them in there. I put my foot in there, and I was like, these are way too big. So then I put my Easy Feet. Love you guys.
Shout out Easy Feet.
And put those in there, and then they fit perfect.
Okay. That's one cool thing that Whites does, is they make these to be sized for an insole.
Yeah.
And even more so, like...
Which, I can't find the size on these, but...
I think they're a 10.
Yeah, I think that these were a 10.
So, size-wise, you basically swapped out the insole, so that probably is pretty close to how it's supposed to fit.
Yeah.
And you're a 10 and a half on
Because
the
these insoles
Brannock.
are pretty thick. And like,
Right.
The only thing that these have different is the arch support.
Yeah.
But...
So your Brannock's 10 and a half. You went down half a size.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a 10 on the Brannock. And wore a 9.5, but I wanted to go up half a size. So I would have gone with a 10. So basically, if you like a tighter fit, go half a size down from Brannock. If you like a more roomy fit, you go true to Brannock, at least based off our recommendations.
Yes.
Which is just completely subjective.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, go off of White's sizing
And I would say
recommendations.
that even though I like mine a little bit tight, these never were too tight. Like, I
Okay.
never felt like I had to break them in.
That's the nice thing about like a mock toe box, because we've kind of talked about like the real purpose of mock toes and the history of it. Like Russell Moccasins was one of like the original moccasin companies, and it comes from Native American moccasins combining with like the European boot making techniques. And the mock toes we see today is they're mostly like a vestigial remnant of like what the mock toes used to be. Now it's just like, oh, it's a mock toe boot, but there is still some advantages because it's a mock toe stitch here. You're able to build up the sidewalls a little bit better. You get a little more structure so it doesn't over collapse, and you just have more height to expand out to the sides. And so mock toes are especially good at like giving you just a little bit of extra toe room.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
So yeah, if you want a tighter fit, go down half a size. If you want a my fit with a little bit of wiggle room, true to size.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the cool things that White's does. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, normally I would even probably go down another half size.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's how tight I like my boots.
Yeah, you like
I
yours
have no
especially tight.
I have no complaints with how tight these are. It's probably how I should wear them.
Probably for foot health.
Yeah.
But we talked about this when we were skating the other day, because we were talking about like the Jordan 4s, the SBs, and how terrible they are to skate in. And like we were talking about all these various shoes that we're all like trying. And you mentioned you like your shoes tight because you ski, you snowboard, you skateboard, you rollerblade, like all these different things where you need rock climbing, where you need to have a lot of feel and a lot of, you can't have a lot of slop in the toe.
Right.
You know, you can't have that loose end bending. So someone like you that does a lot of like sports like that, and you've been conditioned through those sports to like that feel because it's supportive and it's like it supports your foot.
Yeah, I just
you lean
like,
towards that.
I like that feeling.
Right.
Even though it's probably bad for me.
Whereas for me, I started fixating on my toes being squished all day. I'm like trying to work, I'm trying to record a video, and I just, part of my mind's just like, oh, my feet are a little bit tight. Like a little OCD. And I'm like, I can't even think straight because I'm stressing about my toes falling off from lack of circulation.
Yeah. Not
So,
me.
okay, that's good. That's good sizing.
Yeah. So that, yeah.
The one thing I did want to kind of talk about was the difference between like the White's boots, because most of the Pacific Northwest brands, like, you know, we've got the JK Bear Slayers. I'm just going to plug all the collaborations.
Yeah.
These are actually just starting to ship too. So anybody that bought a pair of the Bear Slayers, these are shipping soon, and they're sick. They're so fun.
They are cool. I like how furry they are.
Yeah, these are the Grizzly Bear Slayers. It's like also I want to show the. Did I take the Drifter 3s home? So what I was getting at is, that, you know, all these Pacific Northwest brands, they make the heaviest duty work boots in the world. They all come from the same family tree of Whites. Otto White in the late 1800s really established this kind
Otto
of boot
White,
making.
is that like the guy that started?
Yeah, the guy from Whites, like the whole namesake Otto White.
Oh, okay.
He moved to the Pacific Northwest, established his like logging boot empire over there, and then JK, well, I don't even know how it all, I think Nick's started in the 70s, JK started like 20 years ago, Frank's is another one that spun off, and so they all make very, very similar boots.
Yeah.
But the one thing that White's does that none of the other brands do is they've rounded out their product offering for different price points, because like the Bear Slayers were $650, the, I don't even know, Indy 4s, where are the Indy 4s? Here.
Right there.
Indy 4s, you know, $650. These are so sick. Also, these are like probably the most comfortable Pacific Northwest
I
boots.
really like the uppers of those.
They're so comfy.
Yeah.
But all of them are like $500 to $700. And so it's really hard for some people to get into the Pacific Northwest boots because they just are like, I don't have $600 to drop on a boot.
Well, especially if you've never worn them.
Right. And you don't know what you're just like, that's a
I
lot of
never
money.
would have bought them
Right.
if you didn't
Give them to you.
literally just give me a pair. And then I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But like what White's does is that's really, really smart. That's that none of the other brands have really done is, well, JK has a couple of these, but White's has really diversified their product offerings. They have their like top of the line, like hand sewn stitch down construction. Then they have their regular stitch down construction, and that's usually where most of the brands stop.
Sorry, what? I've
got
heard
you.
this a lot.
What?
Stitch down.
What's the difference?
And I know that they're in some of your videos. I'm sorry.
No,
bad friend, I don't watch all your videos.
It's fine.
I don't
you
know
should
what
watch
stitch
all of
down
them.
is.
Stitch down is just like where the vamp flares out and is stitched down.
Oh, like the... Okay, so this
Yeah.
is stitch down.
Versus Drifter 3s have that rolled welt, so it's still a stitch down, but they have an extra piece right there where they sew that into the insole. And this to me is like the highest quality boot making technique that you can get in the US.
Okay.
Like they're the only ones that really do it. There's a couple small companies. I think Frank's might offer it and a few other companies, but like White's is the only one doing it at like scale. And because of that, they're super expensive, and the stitch down, even on those bear slayers, there's a lot of nails in the boot. It's a lot of hand making techniques, and so like they just cost a lot of money to make. So they cost a lot of money to buy. But what White's has done is introduced more affordable boot ranges, like all of their Goodyear welted constructions. So those are all stitch downs, hand sewn stitch down. This is more of your traditional Goodyear welt, where this strip here is not part of the vamp. You know, with the stitch downs, that flares out and that's what's sewn.
Right.
This welt is the structural piece, but it's separate from those two components.
Got it.
So
On the stitch down, just making sure I understand, the stitch down, the upper comes down and then it flares out like that. And then that is. On the Goodyear
welt,
the upper tucks under, and then they glue like another piece of leather to the bottom.
Well,
then they stitch.
Yeah, when it's wrapped under, then that welt, I guess I face the camera, like when it's tucked under, that welt is sewn to the upper and then is also sewn down.
Oh,
so it's very similar to a stitch down. It's just a separate
it's like
piece.
an extra piece of. I understand. Yeah.
And the benefit of that is it's really, really fast to make. You know, instead of hand nailing all these together like the bear slayers or the drifters, they build the upper and then they put it on a Goodyear welt machine and it sews on the welt in about that much time.
Right. It's just like.
Yeah. They fill it full of cork. They throw that rubber midsole on, and we have to cut in half. So you hand both those to me, because this is actually a better way to explain it. Because you can see that little welt piece.
You want both, or can I hold?
You
one?
can hold that one.
Yeah. There's like a little. I'll show the camera.
Yeah.
There's like a upper piece of leather, and then the Goodyear welt.
Yeah, the welt. You
Yeah.
got it.
And that's sewed to that.
Yep.
And to that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And so it's just faster. They fill it full of cork, throw the shank in there, throw the midsole in.
Yeah,
and they're done.
because a machine can do it.
And so
why can't a machine do the stitch down?
because all the nails and the heels and all like everything that's going on from this section is where all the work is. Because the actual stitch down isn't that hard because they just run it on a sewing machine. But it's all the building up to where you actually sew that stitch down that's the pain, and then like all the, because they have like a leather shank, a leather midsole, it's all nailed in, it's hand lasted, it's all this stuff, whereas like these are probably machine lasted and they're machine welted. And so that allows Whites to sell boots at like $300 to $350, which is a lot more of an entry level price range.
For sure.
You know, it's competing with like the Red Wings and more your other traditional boots. And people are always going to be like, "Oh, White's sold out. He's making cheaper boots," you know. And White's are just like, "No, we're just trying to get more people higher quality boots and continue this business that's been around for over 100 years."
Why is that?
You know, well, it's just how people are, and it's the internet, and like, because it's because it happens so often. Because we've seen it 1,000 times with all these brands that just sell out, and they do actually make inferior products. So I think people are just really like gun shy. They're like, "Uh-oh, is this the end? Like, are we gonna never see like the Whites we used to know?"
For sure.
Versus for me and you, it's more like, "Oh no, like I love Whites. I love the quality. I like the leathers. I like the brand. I don't always need a $600 boot. Sometimes I just need like a casual like wedge sole that I can work in and beat up, and not have to like worry about babying a $700 boot."
Right.
But
I wouldn't baby a $700 boot.
I don't either. But the reason that people would want a stitch down like this like Pacific Northwest construction is it's really, really durable. They literally have like 40 to 50 nails in each boot. Maybe not this one because the Bear Slayer is a little more simplified construction, but like the drifters, like there's like 40 to 50 nails in each boot, nailing all the different layers together.
I also think that all the drifters, I haven't had a pair. I think all the drifters are like the sickest looking boot.
Oh, thanks. I love them.
Who made that one?
This is Whites. This is a collaboration with Whites.
Okay, yeah. I just think that it like, bro, that makes me want to like put a suit on.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean?
I love it.
I think I maybe would baby those.
That's the beauty. Like, this is not a shameless plug of this collaboration, but like, look at how whoa, hiccup. How that blood core is starting to show through in a couple spots.
Like, that's so sick.
So that's the whole concept of this boot. It's like, you're not supposed to baby these. You're supposed to, like, beat them up.
Let the blood shine through.
Yeah, and actually show what you're doing in them and show that you basically have to earn the worn-in look.
The scars, yeah.
And it's so sick. But what I was getting at is they're more durable, they're heavier duty, they're more supportive. They're just like, it's like a F350 compared to a Ranger, compared to like, I don't know, like a pair of like Lems is like your bright yellow Ford Maverick.
I don't want to diss the Mav like that.
It's yellow though.
No, it's not. That's yellow.
This is the Ford Maverick, the bright yellow Ford Maverick.
No,
Yeah.
don't diss the Mav like that, dude.
It's a hybrid.
Let's say the Mav
This actually is a
more
really good example because this is like a hybrid of a sneaker and a boot. That's a very astute observation, Jay.
I know, but
And it's bright
way
yellow.
cooler than Nike.
It's not orange like the classic orange Oro Legacy.
I'm so pissed off.
Hayden's gonna watch this and be like, you guys are so stupid. I hate you guys.
My wife is so sick.
Yeah, so that's like
Okay,
what I like about these is they're that more like entry level price while still being like mostly built to Pacific Northwest standards.
The Perry's, the Perry Select.
Yeah.
Because how much is the Perry Select?
Let's find out. Let's look it up. Okay, the Perry Selects are $380 to $390. $380 for the 6-inch, $390 for the 8-inch. The regular Perrys are $340 to $350. And yeah, so that's like around the price of Red Wings, a little bit more premium than Red Wings.
It's like like $100 more than Red Wings?
I think the mock toes, Red Wings mocks that are bright orange.
Those are for sure orange.
Yeah. Yellow laces. I think these are $300, and then the Iron Rangers are $350. So it's like within the right range. And they're built to a similar quality because where's our boot halves? Because this is the Select, and you have a few layers that Red Wing doesn't have. You get that leather shank, you get the better leather lining, you get leather heel counter.
Is cork good?
Yeah, both of them have cork.
Oh.
But for the most part, they're built really similarly. These are just like a slightly more work-oriented and more premium, and arguably more comfortable mock toe than like the Red Wings. And then the Perry Selects, they just don't have the leather shank. They have a steel shank.
Yeah,
and the one you
question
have.
about it.
Yeah, ask your question.
So the shank is supposed to be like where your arch is, right?
Yeah, it supports your arch. Yeah.
So to me, this seems like really far back.
I think it's only half of it. I think I cut it kind of crooked, so that's like the back end of the shank.
So where's the other half? So shouldn't it?
I don't know.
No, you just had it.
This is the other boot. This is the Select.
Oh.
But that's a good point to point out because the first batch of Perrys, they had the shank in the outsole, and people had issues with it clicking, and people had issues with it like coming out of the outsole after a lot of wear, and so then White's moved the shank internally, I believe.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can see that the right there is where the end of the shank goes.
Oh, okay.
It's just like cut around it. For
I
some
was
reason.
like, that's a silly place to put a shank.
Yeah, you're right.
See it, everyone? Okay, well, dumb question.
So that's kind of how these boots are positioned, what they're for, price range.
I think they're perfect for that.
Yeah. Now let's talk about how you
really
wore
like
yours.
'em. Yeah.
And like what's working, what's not working. Kind of walk me through what you like, what you don't like, where certain things are failing.
So, I like them. Here's my boot, my left boot.
You've worn them a good amount because like this, all the
I mean,
treads
you can
worn off.
see the treads are gone. It actually, in that lighting, it looks like the treads are still here. But I promise they're smooth.
I swear I wore them.
Look at them.
I swear.
They're smooth. I actually really like them right now with like no tread. I like them a lot for paragliding.
Oh, right.
Because when I paraglide in my like Andy 1s, for example,
you need a heel. Is that what you're looking for?
I'm looking for just a chuggy, luggy sole.
Yeah, one
They're
of
like
those
this.
NDCs, Cordovans.
Yeah, so with this, when my glider like pulls me on the ground, this has so much traction that I have to run.
Oh, okay.
And I'd rather just slide.
Right.
So I like that they
Flat
don't
soles.
have. I like that the tread like wore off.
Yeah.
But I did go to Switzerland last year,
Right.
and I was gonna go do a Via Ferrata.
What's that?
So Via Ferrata is like it's like a hike where you are with a harness, and there's a wire that goes along it, and you're like clipping in, and there's like ladder rungs that are like bolted into cliffs.
That's so scary.
And so it's like you're like 3,000 feet exposed on the side of a cliff, and it's like
That's so scary.
It's super scary, but it's like it's climbing a ladder. Like there's
Right.
nothing. It's like an extreme hike. But they at the top of the Via Ferrata, they're free over there, and we just had to rent harnesses at this place, and they looked at my boots, these, and they were like, "No,
Oh, really?
you can't wear those."
Just because they're smooth sole or what?
Yeah, just because they were such a slick sole, and so they made me rent a pair of like Adidas
like a
hiking
scam.
shoes, and then I came home and I bought those Adidas
Oh,
hiking shoes.
oh, really?
Because I freaking love them.
What are they?
uh,
Are they the Terex or whatever?
yeah, like the Adidas Trex or whatever.
T-Rex.
Yeah, they're sick. I like them a lot. They have like
Okay.
the Boost sole and stuff.
The Boost is so comfy.
Yeah, I am a hooer for Boost.
Well, even like the midsole and welt looks like it's holding up pretty well.
Yeah,
Because you beat these up
yeah. I mean, I think on that one the stitch is like coming apart on the
on the mock toe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the only place, and that's an easy fix.
Right. That's like the pro and con of a mock toe, right? Is you do have that fell point right around the toe. Like it's a single piece of leather is always going to be more durable than two pieces of leather that are buttered up together and sewn.
For sure.
And that's why Russell Mocks, we grab me that mock right there. Yeah. So this was their like patented idea and design, and it's like
Yeah,
really
where it's,
what
like,
put them on the
folded
mark.
over.
Yeah, they fold it so instead of just 2 layers buttered up,
Like going like this.
you got 3 because that top piece encapsulates that sidewall.
Is it like this, or is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then it's sewn, so you got 3 layers of leather.
It's 2 pieces, but 3 layers because it's folded.
Yep.
Got it.
And so it's more durable. You know, it's less ability to get because like once it starts splitting, you can get dirt in there. You know?
That's probably why my shoes are so full of rocks.
Yeah, it's probably has something to do with it for sure. But that is a fail point with mock toes.
No, it is.
You have to
And
be aware of.
honestly, that's not specific to this boot. That's specific to mock toes because my Red Wings fell to the exact same
Right.
place.
The one we actually resold those, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Which.
It's on Rose Anvil Builds, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I'm
I think
curious
Brody and Taylor did it.
because the leather's holding up really, really well too. Because you got burgundy double shot,
Yes.
and it's held up really, really well.
Well, and they're just dirty right now. I mean, I wore them this morning.
Okay.
You know.
Well, you can see you've like worn through the actual like starting to get through the grain of the leather. Mm-hmm. You can see it starting to look like a suede or a nubuck leather.
Yeah.
And so you really beat them up, and there's no visible splits in the leather. There's no there's chunks taken out of the heel and everything. But like for the most part, we'll condition these and do like a before and after and clean them up for you.
You should cut them in half.
Just so people, well, that too. Well, I know we've already cut. I think we've already cut a used pair of these.
Are they this used?
They're not. I actually don't remember. But we could do both because like that's like one thing that we're missing with the channel is like the ability to wear hundreds of boots a year to like actually wear them and feel what they're like and how they last and all that.
Yeah.
Now you definitely have dirt coming out of that actually because it's hitting my legs.
Yeah.
But this double shot held up really, really well.
No, and I think I have like cleaned them up before. I mean, literally just with like a rag and water,
Right.
you know, and I'll clean them up and they look really good.
Well, it's cool to see like the gradient of like the stuff that doesn't really see a lot of wear all the way down to the most wear spots.
Yeah.
And this, I love
And this is where my
leather.
like pants rub too.
Yeah, it kind
A
of
lot
burnishes
times.
it. Kinda,
Yeah, so it kind of
yeah.
like rubs it and makes it nice. But yeah, when they clean up, they look really cool.
Well, and this leather is so packed
I
with
did
oils.
get made fun of by the Mexican guys when I first
Why?
had them
Because they're so shiny.
because they were so like red and shiny and like yeah, they were making fun of me for
That's
it.
fair. But that's a nice thing about this leather is you can spiff it up, make it look really nice, or you can just beat the crap out of it like you've done, and it holds up really, really well.
Yeah.
Because it is packed with all those conditioners and oils, and because you probably have you even conditioned them?
Not once.
Yeah. And so that's like most people. And so like Veg Tan leather and like really cool leathers. I don't even know if I have any Veg Tan up here. Like even, I don't know, like this kind of stuff. Just more like dressier leather. This is like the Rawlings Wolverine 1,000 Mile collaboration. It's a little bit drier of a leather. And like this stuff would not last in the same way as this because not that you want to condition this and darken it or anything, but like a drier leather, all the little fibers on the inside.
Wait, so is that Veg Tan?
No.
Or what's the like? Is Veg Tan less durable?
Depends on how you use it. Like saddles are made out of Veg Tan, but like work boots a lot of times are made out of Chrome Tan.
Right. And
insoles are made out of Veg Tan.
Why wouldn't you
uppers are made
do
out
a
of Chrome
saddle
Tan.
out of Chrome Tan?
There's like a lot of reasons where like one, Chrome Tan has a lot of chemicals, so you'd be sitting on like chromium salt chemicals and whatever leftover stuff is there.
Like,
it's a lot more supple and malleable. So for like insoles, you want Veg Tan leather where it stays really hard and really firm and really durable. Same thing for the seat of your saddle and the horn of your saddle.
Right.
Whereas like your belly strap and your cinch strap, it's Latigo, which is like is very, very similar to double shot because you want a little bit of that stretch. You want that water protection.
Right,
you want the
right.
sweat not to erode the leather.
So that's probably why these were very comfortable when I
Right.
put them on. Yeah, like
Yeah.
The uppers, when I first put them on, the uppers felt broken already.
Yeah.
Like they felt good like day one. I was
Right.
like, cool.
Yeah, I love that
And
leather.
I talked about that last time we did it. Like these were the OG for me, like perfect boot, like right out of the box.
Okay.
Like great.
That's the other nice thing about those insoles is, you know, it's similar. It's basically the same concept that we did with the boot breakers. Like White's identified, man, a lot of people don't like standing on hard leather especially for the first 3 weeks while they're getting them broken in. Like let's send them with a nice thick ortholite and
Yeah.
build the boots around that. But like the difference,
I don't understand why that isn't just the standard if I'm being honest.
I don't know either. That's why when we're like, should we just make do it and like make the boot breakers and just sell them? Because the boot breakers weren't even part of like the original idea what we were working towards.
Yeah.
While we're working towards the insole that we're probably going to release later this year or early next year, we just found that little thing on the way. We're like, hey, why don't we just do that? Like, I want those. I want them in all my boots.
Yeah.
You've talked about them. Taylor wants them. My brother wants them.
Well, Haley just got a new pair of Danners,
Oh, okay.
like hiking boots. I can't remember what ones they are. They were, dude. We put probably 6 miles in them, and she was like hating them. And
Oh,
then
really?
I came and I got a pair of boot breakers for her, and now like immediately was
Right.
like love them.
They work.
Yeah.
And it's the dumbest, simplest solution of all
It's so
time.
dumb.
It's just like for some reason nobody's done like 2 millimeters of like high impact
Just
foam
foam.
and like a durable top. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not like this ingenious thing. It's just nobody had done it, and we're like, why don't we just do similar to what White's does? But the difference between like what White's and I've noticed
that's
this
pretty thick.
is the sweet spot with the boot breakers is it gives you just enough squish, but it's not so much squish that your actual leather insole isn't going to break in.
Right. It still breaks in the insole,
Right.
and so then eventually you can just take them out.
Or you leave them in, or you go with a thicker one, but like it's the
Yeah,
perfect thickness
whatever you
to
want.
still give you comfort while still breaking it in. Because I've noticed with like the Perrys, or even like if I put a thicker insole in like a traditional boot with a leather insole, once the insole's broken in after a few weeks, that's only when like the actual leather insole starts breaking in.
Right.
Versus the boot breakers, you're getting that compression as you go along the way.
For sure.
Shameless plug of the boot breakers, but they are good. Like
I think they're good.
they work really, really
I
well.
haven't
They're
needed them,
affordable.
but-
No one else did it, so we just like, all right, we'll do it.
Yeah. Why not?
You know. Okay, what else? Thoughts and concerns, likes, dislikes about the Perry Selects?
Yeah, so I did really like the uppers, like right off the bat. This was the only other boot besides the Ranger that I liked immediately.
The African Troopers.
Oh yeah, Trooper. This one and that one, I was like,
Oh, cool.
This upper is like amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Every other boot that you've given me and that I've worn like took time.
Yeah,
You know, even my Red Wings.
right,
It was like they weren't comfortable for a minute.
right.
You know, but yeah, these ones immediately.
Looks like all the eyelets are holding well. None of them are really
everything's
spinning.
fine. I started doing this speed lacing.
The logger.
Where I tied it. I went through the eyelet on the top, and then when I tie them in the morning, I mean it's hard to do now, but
Right.
I just pull that tight and then I speed lace.
Oh, that's smart.
And so I don't have to do like the lineman wrap.
Right.
Because like on my ND1s, I have to do the lineman wrap. Let's say come untied.
Oh, okay. Like they come off the speed hook.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because
and these
the
bead
uppers
hooks
so
are really
close.
good too. I really like these bead
Yeah,
hooks. Like
I like the solid brass ones are nice.
they don't. These bead hooks actually hold it really well.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to go through the eyelet or do a lineman wrap. Is that what
looks
it's called,
cool.
a lineman wrap?
I assumed you knew what you were talking about. I was like, that's a cool name for it.
Well, I think I'm calling it that because I was wearing my ND1s once and someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, are you a lineman?" And I was like,
really?
"No, why?" And they were like, "'Cause you tie your shoes like a lineman."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was a way."
Well, you might have just trademarked it. TM.
Trademarked lineman wrap.
By the Chop Shop.
Yeah.
Chop Shop.
I have no idea
intellectual
if
rights.
that's like, if there's any validity to that, but
I'm sure
I think
the comment section will let us know.
yeah,
They'll let us know.
they'll tell.
What about the Kiltie? One thing that I think is interesting about the Kiltie is we took a similar approach to, because this is a rose Anvil Kiltie,
Yeah.
and we took a similar approach to the Kilties as the boot breakers. Because I was like, yeah, what would be sick is if nobody really makes a thin Kiltie that's Veg Tan, so you get the durability of Veg Tan, but the thinness of the thinner leather, so it's like a no break-in period,
Yeah.
and it lasts forever. But an interesting thing with these Kilties is like people, we're getting them because we've since like made them thicker because the concept wasn't communicated well enough, and so people would give me like, these are too thin. I'm like, they're not too thin because it's Veg Tan. It's really durable. It's like, it's wicked and crack. It's the most durable like Veg Tan you can get made in the U.S. So awesome. But it's like the perceived value of having a thinner leather, even though we've never even had one returned for warranty. It still is like, it's thinner, and we've spent so much time being like, thicker leather's better, more leather's better. And so when we introduce something a little more nuanced of like, no, thinner for this break-in and for the strength of Veg Tan.
Well, it's like you said, it's like it depends on what you're using it for. Like,
and that's what I noticed about this is like, and this is maybe an even better point of why it was a good idea for us to move to thicker Kilties, is because you have these Western kind of fringe Kilties, and that thinner leather over time is curled up and like made it look not so
maybe
Western.
Thin leather with just the rounded front.
Yeah, we that's actually a good idea. I guess we could still do like the no-shows out of thinner leather.
The no-show thin leather.
And then like the Western thicker.
Do the thicker ones Western. Because yeah, I mean that's my only complaint with the Kilties.
Right.
It's just that looks like trash.
What does it look like? It looks like a little like plant growing out the bottom of your.
Yeah. I'm not. It just kind of makes it look messy.
But that's honestly like the funnest part of product design is like you're like, oh, I tried this. Oh, okay, feedback. This didn't work. Because like at least for me, like the ultimate goal of designing products is to make as good of a product as humanly possible, as easy to use, as essential to whatever you're trying to do. And so when you get feedback, it's part of the fun because you're like, okay, like this is incrementally better. Now it's incrementally better, and then you're like you end up down the road at like
with something
a nice product.
Yeah. Also, though, having said the thinness for these ones is not good, the upper part of the Kiltie is like perfect. You know what I mean? Like it works good, and I mean there's no sign of failure.
Right.
That.
I know that's like a funny thing is like that Veg Tan is thinner, it's more comfortable, it's still protecting the tongue underneath.
I mean, yeah, look at my tongue.
Yeah.
It's like perfect still.
Right. But, it's balancing the aesthetic, it's balancing the perceived value, it's balancing the actual functionality, the comfort. And I think that's part of why the channel's so interesting too.
Sick. Because these are black.
Okay.
And when they're like all clean, they
look
freaking cool. Kiltie, sick. Uppers, sick. Mock toe, maybe mock toes aren't for me.
How so?
Because that's where all my mock toes fell.
Yeah.
Because just what I do, like when I fly in boots a lot, and so I drag my toes a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it.
Oh, so that's what all that wear is from probably then.
Yeah.
Like kneeling and dragging your toes.
Uh-huh. I'm on my knees a lot, dragging around.
Yeah, dragging on my knees, dragging toes. That's my job.
I do like the outsole. I don't know if it is like these outsoles. It didn't seem like these lasted very long. Genuinely, I think I did more time. I know that these look way more beat up than my Troopers.
Right.
Are they Troopers or Rangers?
Troopers.
Troopers.
Troopers are the tall ones.
Okay.
Rangers are the shorties.
I got it. Okay. I think I did more time in my Troopers,
Oh, okay.
and those soles aren't near as
Really?
flat as these.
Do you remember? Is
I
that?
think my
Let me
Troopers
trade
are
me. Let me
here.
see. I can't tell if this is the Vibram
It's the Vibram
wedge or is it the Merrimack one? Because I know that they were making them. They've made some in the Vibram, and they also made some. Grab that one for me if you would. So this is the Merrimack polyurethane based, I think.
For sure they're for sure Vibram.
So you think it's the rubber?
Yeah, because look, this has these right here.
Yeah.
See
Okay.
these little.
Yeah. So you got the rubber version, and like this is the Merrimack version of Vibram where it's not rubber. I think it's polyurethane, and they call them max wear wedges because they will last a lot longer. Okay. So someone like you that's gonna be dragging your feet a lot, that's what we should have gone with as one of the max wear wedges.
Yeah.
Because they definitely wear slower.
I
than the
did
rubber.
like these. I did like these. These are the boots that made me realize that I like a wedge sole over a heel too.
Okay.
Especially because I was in the mud a lot.
Right. Yeah. That's what people
And
really
so
like wedge soles for.
I could come home and I have one of those little brush things on my steps and
Yeah.
immediately boots clean.
Yeah.
You know? Especially with the lace up, it sucks to freaking take your boots off.
It does.
And so I want to like be able to just walk inside for a second and then walk back out.
Right.
You know, like if I'm just getting a drink or something, I
Yeah.
have muddy boots, just clean them off, go inside, get a drink, and then I'm back out.
Right.
I mean, if I'm going inside to be inside, I'll take them off anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but
And the wedges are super comfy. Like, because I guess we didn't really talk about my experience in them, but like, I've got a couple pair of the Harrys, and these are one of my go-to like concert shoes. You know, if it's not really hot anyway, I'll wear a pair of these because it does give you that little bit of squish. It gives you the arch support. You have the insole on the inside. If you get stomped on in the mosh pit, you're gonna be fine.
yeah.
And
I think that,
they're pretty awesome little boots. Like if I were to like say like what the Perry Selects are to me it's like if you took some of the iconic mock toes, you took the Red Wing mock toe, you took the Thoroughgood mock toe, and you took the Pacific Northwest influence, and you kind of combined the two of them, pulled some of the heritage inspiration from the Red Wing, the work inspiration from the Thoroughgood, and then obviously the Pacific Northwest styling and paneling. That's kind of what this is to me. You know, it's like a little bit more premium, higher end version of all those, while still kind of maintaining some of the best attributes of all of them.
Yeah.
And there's some of the more popular boots that we get comments about, questions about. That guy DM'd you question.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I just like how mock toes look.
Right. I do too.
I just think they look good.
Yeah.
I feel like they like when I think of mock toes, I think of like when I was younger growing up, and like a lot of the men around me were wearing mock toes.
Right.
You know, it was like, that's a work boot. That's Steve's
Right.
boot. You know?
Yeah, well, people say that. It's like I've heard people associate the mock toe with work boots. Oh, it's a work boot. It's got the mock toe.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, that connection that they've made, especially like knowing the true history of it. Like because we told this story in the Russell Moxon video. It's so interesting.
I didn't watch it.
It only has like 50,000 views. I'm like, that's like one of my favorite videos we've done all year, and it doesn't have hardly any views. I'm like, why?
People just don't care, dude.
They do. It's interesting.
It is. I don't know a lot of this stuff. I want to pay you a compliment right now.
Do it on camera.
Yeah.
All right.
I am proud of you for obtaining the knowledge about boots that you have
Oh, thank you.
and becoming such an authority on them.
Thanks.
I think it's really cool.
Thanks.
And because I mean, when you freaking cut the Doc Martens in half at first, you
Right.
didn't know anything about boots.
No.
You only knew about leather.
Right. I thought they were like, I was like, oh, it looks like a Goodyear welt. I'm like, oh. You know,
Yeah.
I was like wrong in the
Right.
first video.
Yeah.
So thank you. That's nice of you to
So
say.
I'm proud of you. I think
Thanks.
you've done a good job.
Thank you.
of
Couldn't have done it without you.
absorbing the information that you have.
Right. Well, wait till everyone starts seeing what we got planned for like the next year. It's gonna be crazy. We got some really cool resources we have planned. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't have done it without you because you supported me early days in the business. Bought some wallets at full price. When I was literally working out of my bedroom in Logan, you helped a lot with the camera harness. That's like a big part of why that did so well is because of your help.
Thank you.
And you're just one of my best friends.
Let's cry.
No, not on camera. Okay, give me your final compliments done.
Yeah.
Give me your final thoughts on Perry's. The Perry Selects especially.
If I were to, if my best friend in the whole wide world,
Me?
sure,
I knew it. I knew it.
was like, I want a pair of mock toes, and this was in the running for them, I would say get those.
Oh, okay. Have you had like Thorogoods? Have you had like the other pairs like Mocks? What have you worn?
Yeah,
Mock toes?
I'm just like Red Wings, and I've like tried on a bunch.
And even just like, it's not,
But-
it doesn't even have to be a mock toe compared to like even most boots in that $400 and under price range for work boots. They're pretty freaking killer.
Yeah. Like if I would say if you were in the like 500 or less, like I need a good boot range.
Right.
And this was like in the running. Out of all the boots I've tried on, this is like one of the only ones that has made like a very solid first impression.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are like, yeah, this is good. They'll be really good in 2 weeks.
Right.
This was like out of the box. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that to me is like, it's that, like to me it might be the most highest value mock toe. Because like you can buy a higher quality one for like $650.
For sure.
Or
Like
you can buy a
best bang
cheaper
for your
one.
buck.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like from a value proposition, bang for your buck. You get a lot, like basically every single component is as high quality as you want it.
I mean, what could
And
be
it's under
better?
$400.
Like the
Right.
Goodyear welt?
Yeah, but like some
Wait,
people
or
like
what
Goodyear
is
welts.
it? Oh, no.
Like the stitch down?
Stitch down.
Some people like Goodyear welts. You know, they're more flexible, they're lighter. Like there's pros and cons, and like most people, especially in the more dressy side of things, they prefer Goodyear welts.
Right.
And so, yeah, cool.
So, yeah, I mean, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Wow, it's a score.
Yeah.
What do you rank the Troopers? 11 out of 10 because it's a collaboration.
Okay.
12 out of 10.
Actually, you can't do 10 because that's like too good.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would give these. Ooh, we could do like kind of a Dave Portnoy, like
Oh yeah.
how he does the pizzas.
Yeah.
You know?
We ought to do that for just like wearing them one day. Like both you and I get a pair, and we wear them for the whole day.
One day,
Come
yeah.
back together at the end of the day or the next day. Be like, hey, what was our experience? That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then it
'Cause,
can be
yeah.
like, yes, then it can be like, here's my 1 day rating.
Right.
Or whatever.
Because the real value is in the long-term reviews, but like we're not gonna be able to do that at scale.
At
We can't do
every-
it. Yeah.
Every boot. Yeah.
But like one of the most trying parts of getting into boots and shoes is that break-in period, and like that first day is miserable. And a lot of people completely avoid certain styles of boots just because of the first day pain.
For sure.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then maybe with some of them we can wear them for like 2 weeks or something.
Right. Let's do it.
If I were to rate this right now on just shooting from the hip,
Yeah.
can't choose 10 because that's a perfect boot, which can never be achieved. We should
Yeah.
always be striving though, right, Whites?
Yes. And most all collaborations
Jim
automatic
Green.
10 out of 10.
And Nick's.
Some people like don't know I'm joking. I'm like, yeah, the best boots are my collaboration. So like, I can't believe this guy. He just thinks his. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, these weren't a collaboration.
No.
And these boots are sick.
Yeah.
I would probably give this an 8.3.
Ooh, wow, that is a good score.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think I'd be around that same.
And I'd probably give the Troopers. a 9.1.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
But
that
for
is-
real though, all jokes aside about the collaborations,
Yeah.
those boots are so comfortable.
They're so comfortable, dude.
And like you said, those outsoles last forever. I don't know what compound Jim Green like cooked up down there in South Africa, but they are durable.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're really good.
So if you haven't seen that video, go watch that African
Yeah.
Trooper video. It's pretty fun. People watched it. Like it's like one of the top videos in the last couple months too.
Yeah.
Of us just like BSing about boots and shoes.
I like it.
And I'm like, we'll do more.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Why not?
So
Yeah, no, I would, and what did I say, 9.1?
9183. I think.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And those are
And-
fluid. We can always adjust them. We'll start a
Yeah,
tally
I mean,
going.
I don't know. We got to do
Right.
more, so
It's
I
impossible.
can know where
yeah.
we're at.
We have two to compare.
Yeah.
So
Out of overall, even out of all my shoes, my Troopers, I
Wow.
would still give that.
they are
I
comfy.
freaking love those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on the Perry's, Perry Selects?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But they're great boots, and if you're thinking about buying them, they're in the running. I can't think of a boot I would get that does what this does.
Right.
I can't think of a boot that I would do more.
My second option would be Thorogood. Like if you need to save some money and you be more affordable but have similar vibes, maybe not quite as high quality, maybe not quite as durable, that the Thorogoods are pretty killer for like a more affordable price.
Okay.
So those are kind of like my.
I think I've only
1A,
tried those
1B.
on like once and then took them off.
Oh yeah, I bet they'd send us a pair. Next one.
I'll destroy them. I was gonna say you can't really compare the Troopers to this,
Right,
Because
completely
they're different boots. They do different things. They're for different things.
Right. Yeah. So we'll refine our ranking. It'll be like ranking from 1 to 10 based off of this, and this. Subjectively this, objectively this, and then we'll round it off.
Yeah, but yes.
Okay. Thanks for hopping on the camera again.
course.
If you need a haircut and you're in Salt Lake, Jay's Chop Shop is up and running. I currently own the URL to it.
True.
And to jpatch.com.
True. He owns me.
And it's a cool setup because you cut hair out of your newly built like steel frame attached or detached garage.
Yep.
All the bikes in the background. You have like nice lightings. You take like crazy good photos of everyone that comes through.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So if you need a haircut in Salt Lake,
message
hit up
me
Jay.
on Instagram.
Yeah, what's your Insta?
Jays.chopshop.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll.
And then you'll probably build a website off of that.
I'm working on it. I also just have
Jay's
ADD,
Chop
so like I'm also doing other stuff.
Yeah, as we all are. It's fine.
Yeah, but
And
for
then-
now, just DM me.
And we're gonna try to keep making stuff together. Jay's the boot model that when we need nice beefy manly legs to show off. Jay's the
We both have them though.
yeah, but like it's when I'm busy and my beefy manly legs are currently occupied.
Yeah.
You have to step in.
I have to pick up the slack.
What else? I think that's pretty much it. So
Yeah.
thanks for watching. Thanks for hopping on. We're gonna do a bunch more of these. We're gonna keep pivoting it and trying to see what you guys like, what you don't like. You like the more long form, fluid, us like talking half BS, half about boots. You want just strictly this, strictly that.
Do you
Let
want
us
to
know.
Do you want to know what color Wesson's truck is?
Yeah, vote.
Yeah.
You don't have to just whatever you
Whatever.
think. Don't decide with one or the other
Yeah.
of us.
Don't look at what they call it. On
Yeah,
the side.
don't base it off of what the actual color name is.
Yeah.
Base it off of what the color is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for watching. Shout out to Whites. They've been a big support over the last few years, so it's fun to be able to actually get a long-term wear review of some of their products.
Yep.
And that's it.
Cool.
See ya.